He went through stuff you don't even put a dog through.
He was 4 years old, and he touched us so much. And if we couldn't have gotten Robert's story out, we wouldn't be where we are in South Carolina today, and we have a long way to go. But we were very lucky to get that story. We were very lucky to get that call.
And I kind of said, well, wait a minute, and she's like, yes, I have photos of a bruised and beaten little boy. And that's when you kind of, put your pen down and go, okay.
DSS was telling me, well, you calling us, but you don't have no proof. So I took pictures.
She says these pictures show scars after Robert was hit and whipped with extension cords and belts. Watts says his autopsy and a subpoena of GUINYARD's DSS file support her story.
There is information that we received that supports our physical findings that shows that there had been previous reports made on this child.
I think we made a decision very early on in our reporting that we were not going to let Robert's death be in vain.
No one had a good grasp on what was going on.
And that was really part of it. They were telling us that what we knew didn't happen. And we're like, yes, it did.
We learned the agency is violating rules and failing our kids. If anyone, no matter their age, can leave a legacy.
I think your story was kind of the wedge that opened the very locked down Department of Social Services.
Every time we peeled back another layer, we realized, wait, it's not just about Robert.
They tried to fool everyone, and I think that was a big portion of what people were coming forward saying, that there was too much of a focus from the state on numbers and how to make it look like we've reunited all of these families. These children are better off. These children are adopted. They're in foster homes. And what you hear from the child advocates time and time again is that that's not always the best thing for these children.
This reporting was so incredibly source-driven. It had to be, because it wasn't like you could just go rummage through the court file. So many, these cases, the records were sealed, and for good reason a lot of times, but as a reporter and as a team, it made the job that much more difficult.
Lawmakers needed to ask us what's really going on, which, that sometimes just really makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, and it's going to change a lot of things. This wasn't just about death, it's about foster care and these caseworkers who really are the people who deserve a lot of applause.
You don't want to lose kids. You don't want to lose kids in a system.
Take Rita Morris and her 5 cases. When this report was printed on March 30th, Rita was not working for DSS. Her resignation letter shows she resigned months before on December 20th of 2013, saying the workload has become too much for any one person to handle, and I am only one person. A second employee who asked to remain anonymous had a few cases next to their name on the report, but they were terminated due to unsatisfactory supervisory performance in August 2013, more than half a year before the report.
Without his story and the subsequent stories coming on, I don't know that there would have been the desire to hold the state agency accountable.
Well, JRDSS Director Lillian Kohler finally gave a growing number of lawmakers what they've been asking for now for at least a few months: her resignation.
From an emotional standpoint, this team here, and I think our whole news team, really had to deal with that day in and day out. On the very first case that we did cover, the parents ended up in trial.
Both parents today charged with unlawful conduct towards a child and homicide by child abuse.
It was a horrible, horrible situation. The judge said it was the worst case he's ever seen. The jurors cried every day. So you can imagine for us, even though we report this, we felt a lot of pain.
Came up in the trial that the child's last words were, "Help me, God." Robert had some issues, and his family wasn't shy about those. He had trouble holding his bowels. He had trouble speaking. He was underdeveloped, but that doesn't matter. This kid deserved life, and he didn't get it.
We never met him in life, but meeting him in his death and telling his story is changing everything. It's changed how we are, but it is changing our state, and for the better.